When I answered the door that rainy afternoon, my daughter Clara stood there with her husband Victor, both looking like they'd just won the lottery. Clara's eyes sparkled with excitement, and Victor had that smug grin he always wore when things went his way. "Dad," Clara said, hugging me tightly, "we have the best news. We're expecting." My heart swelled with joy. At 68 years old, after losing my wife Maria to cancer 5 years ago, the thought of becoming a grandfather was like a beam of sunlight piercing through the clouds of my loneliness. I pulled them inside, out of the downpour, and we sat in the living room. The same room where I'd raised Clara as a single father after Maria's passing. I'd worked 2 jobs back then, sacrificing vacations and hobbies to ensure Clara had everything. Dance lessons, college tuition, even a down payment on her first car. "That's wonderful," I exclaimed, already picturing tiny feet pattering around. "When's the due date? How can I help?" Victor leaned forward, his voice smooth as always. "Actually, Mr. Thompson, Dad, we were hoping you could assist with some preparations. The baby's room needs renovating, and medical bills are piling up. We don't want to stress Clara out." I nodded without hesitation. For the past 4 years, since Clara married Victor, I'd been their safety net. Their apartment rent was $600 a month. I covered it. Groceries when times were tight? I'd stocked their fridge. Victor's business ventures that never quite panned out? I'd loaned him $2,000 here, $1,500 there. It added up, but Clara was my only child. What else was a father for? Over the next months, my generosity flowed like water. I paid $3,000 for prenatal care, not covered by insurance. Another $1,200 for a nursery set, crib, changing table, the works. I even surprised them with a $500 baby stroller I'd researched for safety ratings. Clara called me her hero dad, and Victor slapped my back promising, "We'll pay you back someday." But deep down I knew it was one-way traffic. My retirement savings, built from 40 years as a mechanic, were dwindling. I'd skipped my own doctor's appointments to save on copays, eaten simple meals of oatmeal and canned soup. But seeing Clara's growing belly made it worth it. The baby shower was my idea. I offered my house, spent $400 on decorations and catering. Friends and family came. Victor's parents from out of state, Clara's old school buddies. I beamed as gifts piled up, toasting to the new addition. "To my grandchild," I said, raising a glass, "and to family sticking together." Victor pulled me aside later. "Dad, we appreciate this. But the hospital bills, they're estimating $5,000 out of pocket. Could you spot us?" I wrote the check that night, my hand steady despite the knot in my stomach. The birth came early, a beautiful girl named Lily after my late wife's favorite flower. I rushed to the hospital, tears streaming as I held her tiny form. "She's perfect," I whispered to Clara. Victor nodded, but his eyes darted to his phone, probably checking work emails, or so he said. In the weeks that followed, I was there every day, bringing meals, changing diapers, rocking Lily to sleep so Clara could rest. I spent $800 on formula, clothes, and toys. Victor's job as a consultant meant irregular hours, so I filled in the gaps. One night, as I bounced Lily on my knee, Clara confided, "Dad, we couldn't do this without you. You're the best grandpa ever." But cracks started showing. Victor began avoiding me, muttering about old-school advice when I suggested budgeting tips. Clara's calls grew infrequent unless they needed something. a $300 car repair, $400 for utilities. I brushed it off. New parents were stressed. Then came the bombshell. It was Lily's first birthday. I'd planned a small party at their apartment, baking a cake myself to save costs. As I arrived with balloons and a $200 gift card for baby supplies, I overheard Victor on the phone. "Yeah, the old man's footing the bill again. He's got plenty in savings. Might as well use it before he kicks the bucket." The words stung like a slap. I froze in the doorway, cake in hand. Clara saw me, her face paling. "Dad, we didn't mean." But Victor cut in, laughing it off. "Just joking, Mr. T. Come on in." The party went on, but the joy was tainted. That night, alone in my quiet house, I tallied it up for the first time. Rent, $600 x 48 months equals $28,800. Groceries and emergencies, about $250 monthly equals $12,000. Baby expenses, $10,000 plus. Loans to Victor, $7,500. Total, over $58,300. Money I'd pulled from my nest egg, meant for my golden years. And for what? To be seen as a cash cow nearing its end? I decided to talk to them. The next weekend, I invited them over for dinner. Lily toddled around, giggling as I played peekaboo. After she napped, I cleared my throat. "Clara, Victor, I love you both, and Lily's my world. But I can't keep funding everything. I'm retired. My savings aren't infinite. Maybe we set up a plan for you to handle more." Clara's eyes widened. "Dad, are you serious? With the baby, we can't afford it." Victor's face hardened. "We've been counting on you. This is sudden, unfair even." The argument escalated. Clara accused me of abandoning them. Victor called me selfish. "After all we've been through as a family," he sneered. "E stood firm." Family supports each other emotionally too. When's the last time you asked about my health? My life? They left angry, Lily crying in Clara's arms. For days, silence. Then Clara called, voice sweet as honey. "Dad, sorry about that. We overreacted. But rent's due, $600. Can you transfer it one last time?" I hesitated. "Clara, no. You need to budget." Click. She hung up. A week later, Victor texted, "Lily needs diapers. $50. I sent $20, my resolve weakening. But then I saw it, a social media post from Clara. Photos of a lavish weekend getaway, spa treatments, fancy dinners. Hashtag much needed break. Paid for how? My mind raced. Had they used the baby funds for that? Anger bubbled. I blocked their numbers temporarily, needing space. That's when the harassment started. Voicemails from unknown numbers. "Grandpa, Lily misses you, but we can't visit without gas money." Emails from Victor. "You're letting your granddaughter suffer?" I unblocked, called Clara. "This stops. I'm done being your bank." Her response chilled me. "Fine, Dad. But don't expect to see Lily anymore. You're not family if you're not helping." The pain was excruciating. Lily was innocent, my blood. But I couldn't buy access to her. I consulted a financial advisor, Sarah, who'd helped with Maria's estate. "Mr. Thompson, this is financial abuse," she said bluntly. "Document everything. Protect your accounts." I froze transfers, changed passwords. My house felt emptier, but lighter too. I started hobbies again, gardening, reading. Joined a senior center. Made friends like Harold, a retired teacher who'd cut off his spendthrift son. 2 months passed. Then a knock. Clara stood there, Lily on her hip, Victor lurking behind. "Dad, we need to talk." They came in, but tension crackled. Clara cooed at Lily, avoiding my eyes. Victor cut to the chase. "We're being evicted. Landlord wants $1,800, 3 months back rent. Help us, for Lily's sake." I shook my head. "No. You've had years to save." Clara exploded. "You're heartless. Mom would be ashamed. Mentioning Maria was a low blow. Your mother worked hard for this money. She'd want me happy, not drained." They stormed out. That night, I cried. Tears of grief for the daughter I'd lost to entitlement. But morning brought clarity. I calculated again. $58,300 gone. Enough for a cruise, home repairs, or charity. I donated $1,000 to a cancer foundation in Maria's name. Felt good. The retaliation came swift. A letter from a lawyer. Notice of intent to file for conservatorship. Clara and Victor claimed I was mentally deteriorating, making irrational decisions like cutting off family support, showing paranoia by changing locks I had after their unannounced visits. They wanted control of my finances for my protection. My blood boiled. This wasn't concern, it was greed. I hired my own lawyer, Mr. Patel, sharp and experienced in elder law. "This is common, Mr. Thompson. Greedy relatives see inheritance as entitlement. We'll fight." We gathered evidence. Bank statements showing transfers, my medical records proving sharp mind, annual checkups clean, testimonials from friends. Harold wrote, "John's as competent as they come. Beats me at chess weekly." The home invasion happened next. I returned from grocery shopping to find my door ajar. Inside, Victor rifled through my desk, Clara holding Lily while scanning files. "What the hell?" I yelled. Victor smirked. "Just checking on you, Dad. Worried about your bills." Clara added, "We have rights, your family." I called the police. Officers arrived, escorted them out. "Trespassing," one said. Victor shouted, "He's crazy. Needs help." But I pressed charges, dropped later, but it set boundaries. Social services knocked days later. A worker, Ms. Lopez. Report of elder self-neglect. Family says you're isolating, mismanaging funds. I invited her in, showed organized bills, full fridge. Mr. Patel joined, presenting docs. "This is harassment," he argued. Ms. Lopez left satisfied. No issues here. Escalation continued. Victor's witnesses. A former co-worker claiming I ranted about family, a casual vent. Their neighbor saying I looked confused during visits, lies. They even got a psychiatrist, Dr. Klein, who evaluated me remotely via their descriptions, concluding possible dementia. My evaluation with Dr. Ellis, a neutral expert. Mr. Thompson scores perfectly on cognitive tests. Alert, oriented, no decline. We built our case. Court day arrived. I wore my best suit, Maria's photo in my pocket for strength. Clara and Victor sat opposite, avoiding eyes. Their lawyer painted me as senile. Sudden changes, alienation, classic signs. Witnesses parroted lies. Mr. Patel demolished them. Cross-examining Clara. When did you last visit without requesting money? Stammer. Victor. How do you support your family without Mr. Thompson's aid? Squirm. My testimony, Calm factual. I gave $58,300 over 4 years. Excluded from family events unless paying. This lawsuit. Pure greed. Friends testified to my vitality. Judge Harlan ruled. No evidence of incompetence. Petition denied. Warning to petitioners. Further harassment may lead to sanctions. Victory tasted sweet. Outside, Clara approached tears. Dad, we can fix this. I shook my head. Too late. Love isn't transactional. I sold the house, moved to a cozy condo by the lake, donated to abuse hotlines, traveled to Italy, Maria's dream, made new memories. Years later, a letter from Clara. Lily asks about Grandpa. We messed up. Can we talk? I replied, earn it without money. Healing begins slow, but on my terms. If you enjoyed this story, consider donating to support more. What would you do? Share in comments. Where did you hear this? Like, subscribe for more. Until next time.